the latest breaking news.
And we have been following a breaking news story out of Seminole County for you all morning long, where a man killed 3 people, including his 2 children and himself, in a killing spree. Let's head right out now to News 13's Bailey Myers, who's live at Central Florida Regional Hospital in Sanford, which is one of the crime scenes. And Bailey, what do we know right now?
Well, David, it all ended here in Sanford, just along I-4, right just a couple miles away from where we are here. And this is where there was a shooting. The suspect in this case opened fire inside the Central Florida Regional Hospital here. But it all started at 10 last night when police were called after a woman was stabbed. Now, get this, we know that that woman was Teresia Brown. She went to Chili's in Lake Mary. That's where her estranged husband, 30-year-old Henry Raymond Brown, stabbed and killed her. Brown also hurt 2 medical professionals trying to help Teresia. We have more details on that crime coming up. Now, after killing his wife, Brown fled home, traded cars, and picked up his 2 young children who were 4 and 1 years old. That's when he headed back to Sanford. Continue his shooting spree here at the hospital where he opened fire. Fortunately, no one was hurt in that particular shooting, but once again, Brown fled, only to later be found on I-4 near 1792, where he shot and killed his 2 young children and ultimately turned the gun on himself.
For us to do to kind of put the pieces together on this and find out exactly what circumstances led up to what happened overnight.
So investigators have a lot of work on their hands right now as they try to piece together exactly what happened at these multiple crime scenes. Jerry Hume actually joins us right now at the crime scene where it all started at that Chili's. Jerry, what can you tell us about what happened there?
Well, quite the bizarre story that happened here, Bailey. Yeah, the scene is clear right now at this Chili's restaurant. It was around 10 last night when Teresia Brown went inside this Chili's restaurant. Meanwhile, her estranged husband, Henry Brown, was hiding out in the trunk of her car, waiting for her to get outside. So when Teresia Brown did leave this Chili's restaurant, that is when he jumped out and started stabbing her several times. 2 medical professionals, as you mentioned, a nurse and a paramedic, they were inside the Chili's at the time. They came out to the parking lot to help her. Now, Brown left the scene, but he came back a few minutes later in his vehicle and ran over all 3 of them, and all 3 were taken to the hospital. Teresia, as you know, died from her injuries. One of the medical professionals remains hospitalized. The other has been released. Now, the Seminole County Sheriff's Office also detailing to us that they had responded to a domestic disturbance call involving these 2 individuals back in December. That's the latest live here in Lake Mary. Jerry Hume, News 13.
Thank you, Jerry. Let's continue now with your weather and traffic together. Real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper will give us a look at the roads in just a moment. But first, we start with meteorologist Maureen McCann, who joins us now from the Weather Center with your weather on the ones.
Thanks so much, David, and good morning. Here at 7:03, we are a few moments past sunrise. Got some clouds in the way, though. Over at the coast, we're finding them in Cocoa Beach. Very pretty view. The water, though, it's going to be rough again today. We have a high surf advisory in effect, and we also have a small craft advisory for the boaters, which I'll talk about later this hour. Getting you out the door this morning, though, we have temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Not too bad at the coast, but inland locations are dealing with a little bit of rain. We've been seeing these minor coastal showers throughout the morning. I'll include it in your bus stop forecast, but we are not going to be seeing that rain all day. Instead, the sun will be with us for the afternoon. These coastal clouds for this morning are going to be relatively short-lived. The radar just showing a few sprinkles along the I-95 corridor. I'll be back with another live update on the radar at 7:11. Let's go over to Ryan now for our next check of real-time traffic. Ryan?
Thank you, Mo. Good morning. 7:04 now, your current time. We continue to track some building delays along I-4 westbound. Take a look at why we're seeing some delays already this morning. It's because of a minor wreck now. It's off to the right shoulder. Earlier was blocking a right lane, and we do have some delays approaching that scene. We have a travel time set up for you right now. Not quite in the red yet, but we're starting to trend that way. Almost about 10 extra minutes from Lake Mary all the way through downtown. The traffic begins at around that Longwood Lake Mary rest area. It does not dissipate till you're past Maitland Boulevard at this point. But stay with 408 and I-4 eastbound heading into downtown, still looking pretty good at this point in time. This traffic update brought to you by your Central Florida Honda dealers.
Commissioners on the Orlando City Council will have their say today on a proposal to decriminalize small amounts of marijuana. It's an effort to cut down on the number of arrests made in Orlando. Last week we told you about a plan proposed by Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer and Police Chief John Mina. Right now, if someone's found with up to 20 grams of marijuana, they would face a year in jail and a $1,000 fine. If this new ordinance passes, police would be able to issue a citation instead.
I mean, nothing good can come from this when we say that, substance abuse is the same thing as a parking ticket to just get a fine. That's not the right message to be sending to young people especially.
If there's somebody that has made a youthful mistake, it's their first time and they have no other background of any sort and are not associated with other crimes, we're probably going to be able to give them a second chance.
Supporters of the plan say arrests for first-time minor drug possessions are causing people to lose out on future work, acceptance to the military, even student loans. The ordinance gets its first reading this afternoon at 2 p.m., and if it's allowed to move forward today, it will be coming back for a final vote on May 9th, and then it could become a law. Right now, an Amber Alert is out for a 7-year-old missing from Madison County. Now, Brian Williamson was last seen yesterday near Highway 90 in North Florida, just east of the Panhandle. Witnesses say a man in a black sedan abducted him. Brian was seen wearing a dark-colored Florida Gator shirt and pants with frogs printed on them. Now, he's also 4 feet tall and weighs about 55 pounds. Call police right away if you see him or know anything about this incident. And a $5,000 reward is now being offered for information in connection to a deadly shooting that happened in Paramore Saturday night. Police say 24-year-old Gino Nicholas died in the shooting. Another person is still in the hospital listed in critical condition. 4 other people suffered from non-life-threatening injuries. Now, Orlando police returned to Conley Street, the apartment complex there yesterday. Several bullet holes can still be seen in cars outside of homes after guns were fired from a car toward a group of people standing outside of the complex.
This is the first shooting we've heard about over here. We thought it was nice, so I was even thinking about moving over here, but after that shooting, that has changed my mind.
Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Line at 1-800-423-TIPS. And this is it. Today is the last day you can file your 2015 taxes. Post offices here in Central Florida will be open late, many until 9 o'clock tonight. The main reason for that is last-minute filers are not uncommon. Now, we decided to reach out to our local tax expert, and she told us the #1 issue that last-minute filers face is they aren't prepared to file.
This is one of the biggest things that people, they don't have a W-2, they don't have a 1099, they don't have a mortgage interest, and this will throw off the taxes. And then what will happen is the IRS will audit it. 6 months to a year, you get a letter. So, saying, okay, now you owe this. So it's super important to make sure you have all your official tax documents.
Now, if you don't have your documents, Saxman told us your best option is to file an extension. That form is available on the IRS website. If you brought in less than $62,000 last year, the extension is free. Now, we have a full list of Central Florida post office locations, open and close times, posted on our website at mynews13.com. Florida decides. Republican frontrunner Donald Trump continues to say the GOP's nomination process is rigged against him. Now, yesterday, Ohio Governor John Kasich dismissed Trump's accusations in an interview with CNN.
No, I think it's the way it works. It's like saying I made an 83 on my math test, so I should get an A just because I think it's rigged that you have to make a 90 to get an A. I mean, come on. Act like, like you're a professional. Be a pro.
Kasich went on to say he's optimistic about his future in the campaign. Meanwhile, Trump responded to Kasich at the campaign event in New York, saying yesterday, nobody knows he's there. On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders is not talking about delegates, but rather money. He praised actor George Clooney for acknowledging that he had just raised what he called an obscene amount of money for Hillary Clinton. Sanders says he believes the system is flawed.
Few people, in this case wealthy individuals, but in other instances for the secretary, it is Wall Street and powerful special interests who are able to contribute unbelievably large sums of money. That's not what democracy is about. That is a movement toward oligarchy.
Criticism of special interest money in politics is at the core of his campaign. He released his tax returns from last year on Friday. He says he'll probably release more returns this week. Now, we have all of the information you need to make an informed decision at mynews13.com. See how many delegates each candidate has already picked up and how they've been polling among potential voters. You can also read our Florida Decides voting guide. Just go to mynews13.com/politics. And the time now is 7:10. Let's turn it over to real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper with a look at your morning commute. Hey, Ryan.
Thank you, David. Good morning to you. Now 7:10, as you just said, our current time. Still continuing to track some delays heading towards Maitland Boulevard along I-4 traveling westbound. You can see some of those cars out there off to the side. Now it's just road rangers for the most part. We had an earlier crash blocking the right shoulder. Still looking at some residual delays stretching back to the Longwood Lake Mary area. So basically from Longwood, that rest area even before Lake Mary, all the way through Maitland, you were looking at some busy traffic, not quite stop and go. Give yourself an extra 10 minutes there of travel time. Still tracking a few other wrecks out there. This is going to be one of them. Landstar Boulevard near Fairway Woods Boulevard. Still some lanes blocked in this area. You could take Orange Avenue as an alternate for the meantime. This traffic update brought to you, of course, by your Central Florida Honda dealers. Over to our weather center now with meteorologist Marie McCann. And Mo, what can you tell us about what we have in store for our upcoming week?
Well, the next couple of days are going to be very nice, although windy at the coast. And this morning, that wind coming in off the Atlantic is creating some coastal showers. We're finding them here on Storm Tracker 13. No lightning, and they really are dissipating as they make their way inland. The one shower I'm watching, though, that seems to have a few little pockets of yellow showing up on the radar from Melbourne down to Floridana Beach. So a quick downpour is possible there, but the rest of us looking at partly cloudy sky. That's what we have over downtown Orlando. This is the FBC Mortgage weather cam. Looking off to the west, 63 degrees with these low clouds that will be mixing out over the course of the morning. We have temperatures in the mid to upper 60s at the coast, 50s inland, though, still for Ocala at 57 away from the ocean. Winds there are a little bit lighter. It's breezy Daytona Beach and Titusville. And today you're going to find those winds picking up out of the northeast around 10 to 20 miles per hour. And this setup is going to make for another rough day at the beaches. Get a high surf advisory posted for all of our coastal counties until 11 o'clock because of those breakers around 6 to 8 feet. Minor beach erosion is possible. The rip current threat is elevated too, so make sure you check in with the local conditions with a lifeguard, but overall just not a day to get in the water. If you want to go for a walk along the beach, though, that sounds a little bit safer because we're going to have temperatures that will be closing in on 80 degrees with sunshine for the afternoon after these morning coastal clouds dissipate. So another view of Storm Tracker 13, just showing how these showers are not really surviving into the I-4 corridor. We may have a few brief raindrops. Otherwise, conditions are going to be dry. Here are those winds for today. Very blustery at the coast, making your temperatures feel a little bit cooler there. And inland, across the inland lakes, kind of like yesterday, we're going to have the gusty conditions with winds between around 10 and 20 miles per hour. Here's your Monday forecast in writing. 81 degrees, not far from the seasonal average, which is 83. Tonight, the winds will begin to subside. Tomorrow, a similar day, 83 degrees, just not as windy. Got a nice stretch of weather through the middle part of the week, and I'll show you the 7-day forecast coming up at 7:21. David.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Now we continue to follow breaking news this morning. 4 people are dead in Seminole County after a man has killed his wife and 2 young children before committing suicide. We have a team of reporters working to gather more information right now, and we'll have more for you in just a few minutes. You're watching News 13.
Connect to the stories that are important to you. Like News 13 on Facebook. Get your news weather now. Follow News 13 on Twitter.
When you suffered a tremendous loss and come to the Pendas Law Firm, you're not just another number. In fact, we're focused on our aggressive abilities to deliver the justice you deserve. We take great pride in what we do, and we care deeply about you. So after an accident, just call Pendas.
There is an important part of getting a second opinion that I think is not well communicated. I think clients, if they doubt what they've been told, if they've not had that positive experience they should be having with their lawyer, they're entitled to and certainly have the right to call another lawyer to get a second opinion. Bogan, Munz & Munz, since 1979.
You're busy. We get it. So take back your evenings and get news and weather on your schedule.
Thank you for joining us tonight on your evening news.
Our team has been working all day so that when you get home, you're caught up with stories from where you live.
Reporting in Orange County.
In Lake County.
Reporting live in Cocoa Beach.
And plan ahead with your complete weather on the ones forecast every 10 minutes.
Futurecast showing us an infusion of more moisture coming out of the southeast.
So whenever you get home, take back your evenings with News 13.
Many of our clients came to us after feeling their cases weren't getting the attention they deserved at another law firm.
Originally, I really wanted to give up because it was a lot of work and I had to put a lot of time into it with the other firm that I was coming from. But with Trial Professionals, I felt as if they took the work off of my hands and it was really stress-free.
If you'd like a fresh perspective on your case, call us right now. If we think we can help, you can leave all the details of switching attorneys to us. Call 1-800-TRIAL-PRO.
The Pendas Law Firm doesn't easily settle with the insurance companies. We fight for every penny you deserve. It usually takes aggressive and experienced representation to get you the maximum for your claim, and if not, we'll try to get it here at the courthouse. So after an accident, just call Pendas.
The News 13 Plus app brings you real-time traffic information in the palm of your hand, exclusively from Bright House Networks. 1985, 3 locations: Orlando, Dr. Phillips, and New Smyrna Beach. Now, the latest breaking news.
We're following breaking news in Seminole County, where a man killed his wife and his 2 children and then himself in a killing spree. Let's go right out to News 13's Bailey Myers. She's live at Central Florida Regional Hospital in Sanford, near where all of this ended. Bailey, what have you learned?
Well, investigators are still out here in Sanford where it all ended, like you said. But check it out. They're here at the hospital. This is where a gunman opened fire here. But this all started at 10 o'clock last night when police were called to a woman being stabbed. Now, we now know that woman was Theresia Brown. She went to Chili's in Lake Mary last night. That's when her estranged husband, 30-year-old Henry Raymond Brown, stabbed and killed her. Brown also hurt 2 medical professionals who were trying to help Theresia. We have more details on that crime coming up. But after killing his wife, Brown fled home, traded cars, picked up his 2 children, who are 4 and 1 years old. That's when he headed back to Sanford to continue the shooting spree right here at the hospital, and that's where he opened fire. Fortunately, no one was hurt in this particular shooting, but once again, Brown fled, only to be later found just a few miles up the road on I-4 near 1792 exit, where he shot and killed himself and his 2 young children.
For us to do to kind of put the pieces together on this and find out exactly what circumstances led up to what happened overnight.
So there are a lot of missing pieces to this puzzle, a lot of crime scenes in different jurisdictions. We know that law enforcement is all working together to try to figure out and piece together exactly how this all happened and how it could have been prevented. Reporting live in Sanford, Bailey Myers, News 13.
Coming up in health news, as many of you know, the Zika virus has been linked to birth defects, causing ladies to be more cautious or simply scared of pregnancy. However, top health officials say for now, you may have less to worry about. Find out what exactly they want you to know. And Maureen, we had a cooler start to the morning. How's the weather conditions going to keep up for the rest of the day?
We'll be looking at a sunny and dry stretch overall as high pressure remains in control. We'll see how long this will last into the work week. Coming up in your Weather at the Ones.
Marine Forecast is brought to you by the Personal Injury Division of NEJAM Law. If you've been in a car accident or injured, NEJAM Law. Help is here.
People are coming to see us at Lexus of Orlando from as far as 200 miles away. Why? Because we've extended the Command Performance Sales Event. Right now, drive a 2016 IS200 Turbo, $259 a month. Log on to LexusofOrlando.com.
It's volume pricing during our spring sales event at Central Florida Chrysler Jeep Dodge. Buy from the largest inventory in the country. 12 acres, 4 stories, 288,000 square feet, and over $50 million in stock available for immediate delivery. And with our low price protection guarantee in writing, you'll always get the best price. I'm Elena. View all details at cfchrysler.com, John Young Parkway and Sand Lake Road, Orlando.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Only Appliance Truck has the Maytag
855, the best and biggest Maytag dryer ever made. Only the 855 dryer has commercial grade motor, commercial grade dryer belt, commercial grade rollers, plus 8.8 cubic foot drum. Wow! Plus steam refresh. Maytag 855 dryer, appliancedirect.com for price. If you didn't buy direct,
you paid too much.
At Bright House Networks, we wanted to do something big for small businesses in our community. That's why we created Small Business Month, making it easy for local consumers to find great businesses like yours. Register and be part of this special directory. It's free, easy, and enters you for a chance to win 1 year of free service from Bright House Networks Business Solutions. Let's build your business bigger. Sign up at brighthouse.com/smallbizmonth.
The Command Performance Sales Event has been extended, and we have over 500 new vehicles ready for immediate delivery. See them all online at lexusoforlando.com. There you can also chat or speak with an Internet product specialist. That's lexusoforlando.com.
A non-attorney spokesperson. News 13 News is brought to you by Martinez Manglardi, fighting for results for over 25 years.
Your accurate weather experts forecast with Storm Tracker 13.
Time for another check of your weather on the ones here at 21 minutes past the hour. Onshore flow is going to be the key words to talk about our weather pattern for today. When you get winds coming in off the Atlantic, that tends to generate some coastal clouds and some coastal showers, especially in the morning. We're seeing that today, and we also had that over the weekend when we got this picture coming in from Barbara. She sends pictures pretty much daily from the Halifax River in South Daytona Beach. Kind of hard even to pick which picture to choose because there's so many of them, and this really tells the story. Those clouds are present yesterday morning. We'll have them today. Watch for some showers, but the bigger hazard for the boaters today is going to be the rough surf. We have a small craft advisory in effect and also a high surf advisory at the beaches because the pounding surf and those breaking waves. Seas will be around 7 to 10 feet in the offshore waters. Now, even though we're talking about poor boating conditions, going out to the beach just for a walk should be pretty nice with sunshine during the afternoon. The dry air is certainly evident on the water vapor loop, but if you look really closely, you can see how that onshore flow is appearing in the motion of the water vapor or lack thereof. High pressure, our key weather feature for today. It's going to give us a dry weather. Notice on the edge of your screen there's some moisture over the Mississippi Valley, and there's a lot of it. It's just not going anywhere. It's not going to get to us anytime soon. But that's going to have some travel impacts in Texas, which I'll be talking about later on this hour. Local travel impacts this morning. A couple of minor showers appearing on Storm Tracker 13. They will not last very long through the midday hours. We'll see that dry air take hold and the conditions will clear out. Looking at a sunny day inland, a bit breezy at times. The strongest winds will be at the coast. That onshore flow at night will send in some coastal clouds again for your Tuesday morning, and we should see pretty much a repeat throughout the day Tuesday, even on Wednesday as well. So this is a fairly stagnant weather pattern. It will mean the increased winds at the coast and maybe an early shower. Otherwise, mid to upper 70s for Flagler and Volusia counties today. Brevard County will also find pretty similar temperatures. Away from the coast, we'll have the lack of rainfall in the forecast today, around 80 or so in Holopaw, 81 in Kenansville. Seminole County, your Monday shaping up to involve upper 70s to near 80, kind of like what we had yesterday. More sunshine as we turn to our inland counties like Marion, Lake, and Sumter, and right here in Orange County with the high of about 81 or so here in Orlando. It's exactly where we should be this time of the year, if not a little bit below. The next 7 days involve a small warm-up into the middle 80s by Wednesday and Thursday. Going to leave rain out of the forecast for now, at least until Friday and Saturday. That's when some showers and thunderstorms will return, clearing out for the second half of the weekend. So dry weather always means higher pollen levels, and that's what we're going to have steadily for the next 3 days. This pollen forecast brought to you by 1-800-TRIAL-PRO. We'll head over to Ryan now for a check on traffic. I'll be back with surf conditions at 31 past. Right now, a live look at Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Good Monday morning, 7:24 your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. And I-4 continues to be the story of the morning thus far just because it is backed up pretty significantly to around the Lake Mary area, but not quite stop and go all the way through. From that rest area, the Lake Mary Longwood rest area, all the way through Maitland, that's where we're looking at slow traffic. And this is what we're calling it overall, about a 27-minute commute from Lake Mary all the way through downtown Orlando. Normally that would take you about 15 minutes, so about 12 extra minutes needed at this point in time. There was an earlier wreck near Maitland Boulevard, now off to the right shoulder there. Still have reports that only a southbound left lane is now open. Landstar Boulevard near Fairway Woods Boulevard. This is South Orange County, so maybe Orange Avenue might work for you for the meantime, just to get around that specific area. And also still tracking wreck Silver Star Road near Apopka Vineland, getting where there may still be some lanes blocked in that area. If that is the case, maybe avoid the area in its entirety. Take State Road 50 as an alternate. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, I'll have an update for you on State Road 408 getting busier heading into downtown, and this update brought to you by your Central Florida Honda dealers.
Ladies looking to get pregnant or who are already pregnant, listen up. Top U.S. health officials say that the Zika virus shouldn't have you worried. They say there's been no local transmission of the Zika virus in the United States, but doctors at the National Institutes of Health say it's likely the U.S. could see local transmitted cases as we get into mosquito season this summer. They say if there's a local outbreak, health officials will work very hard to contain it. For now, officials say women in the U.S. who are getting pregnant shouldn't be worried about anything regarding pregnancy, but should steer clear of countries where there are outbreaks. And a new study says that children who have parents of the same sex are just as healthy as children from parents of the opposite sex. The study was published in the Journal of Developmental and Behavioral Pediatrics. Researchers say that kids are emotionally and physically healthy despite a cultural debate around same-sex parenting. The study found no differences in the children when it came to their general health, their emotional difficulties, their coping behaviors, and their learning behaviors. The Jungle Book had a roaring opening weekend, bringing in more than $103 million across the nation. This Disney classic stunned analysts with its first-place finish, as they predicted a much lower turnout. The Jungle Book is an action-packed epic adventure about a man cub raised in the jungle by a family of wolves who embark on a captivating journey of self-discovery. This movie is rated PG. And people came out for a good laugh this weekend. Barbershop, The Next Cut, took the #2 spot with $20 million. In this sequel, Ice Cube and the rest of the crew are at a barbershop now working alongside a number of female hairdressers. It's rated PG-13. And Academy Award-nominated star Melissa McCarthy dropped to the #3 spot, bringing in around $10 million. In her comedy, she's sent to prison for insider trading, but comes out to help a group of little girls get top sales in their fundraising efforts using her unconventionally ways. This movie is rated R.
Persistent onshore flow will govern our weather pattern today. It's going to mean some rough boating conditions on the Atlantic. I'll have the complete details coming up in your Weather on the Ones.
The weather experts at News 13 are on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You get your weather every 10 minutes. If there's severe weather, we're going to be on, making sure that we get the word out that the severe storms are moving in.
At the time of the accident, I was working full-time. I had a house to maintain. It limited my ability to do my normal things. Todd Miner absolutely exceeded my expectations in handling my case.
If you've been in a car accident, call me today. Todd Miner Law. Expect more.
At Mystic, every stone tells a story of timeless natural beauty, a story told with color, texture, and movement, a story from every part of the world that will be told in your home. At Mystic Granite and Marble, we have thousands of stories. Which stone tells your story? Which one belongs in your home? Choose your stone at Mystic Granite and Marble in Orlando, where earth becomes art.
Plain and simple, we have the best deals. Buy this new Silverado All-Star for $29.9. That's a savings over $10,000. To find out more, dial ** Chevy. Or lease this all-new Malibu 2LT for under $300 a month. 0 down, sign and drive. To find out more, dial ** Chevy. Just dial ** Chevy on your mobile phone to find out more on these great offers. And as always, the only thing better than our price is the buying experience itself.
Van Ganaway Chevrolet, Highway 441, Eustis.
If you're ever involved in an automobile accident, I would recommend that you call Todd because he's very professional, very conscientious, and very trustworthy.
If you've been in an accident, call me today. The consultation is free. Todd Miner Law. Expect more.
Non-attorney spokesperson. Local Forecast is brought to you by the Pendas Law Firm. If you were in an accident, just call Pendas.
Now, the latest breaking news.
We're keeping you up to date on a breaking news story that we've been following throughout the morning in Seminole County, where a man killed his wife and his 2 children and killed himself in a killing spree. Let's get right out to News 13's Bailey Myers. She's live at Central Florida Regional Hospital in Sanford, near where part of this story ends. Right, Bailey?
That's right, just a few miles down the road, all of this came to a really tragic end, David. But a lot of chaos was caused right here at the hospital where the suspect opened fire inside. Fortunately, no one was injured. But let me take you back. This all started down the road in Lake Mary at 10 last night when police were called after a woman was stabbed. Now, we know that woman was Teresia Brown. She went to Chili's in Lake Mary. That's where her estranged husband, 30-year-old Henry Raymond Brown, stabbed and killed her. Brown also hurt 2 medical professionals who were trying to help Teresia. We have more details on that crime coming up. Now, after killing his wife, Brown fled home, traded cars, picked up his 2 young children who were 4 and 1 years old at the time. That's when he headed back to Sanford to continue this shooting spree here at the hospital where he opened fire. Like we said, no one was hurt in that shooting, but once again, Brown got away. He fled, only to be later found on I-4 near 1792, where he shot and killed his 2 young children and ultimately turned the gun on himself.
For us to do to kind of put the pieces together on this and find out exactly what circumstances led up to what happened overnight.
So investigators have a lot of work on their hands as they try to sift through the evidence at multiple different crime scenes. Jerry Hume joins us now at one of those crime scenes where it all first started. Jerry, can you tell us a little bit about what happened there?
Well, Bailey, yeah, it happened here in front of this Chili's restaurant. You can see the scene is clear right now, but it was a different story last night. Around 10 last night, the Seminole County Sheriff's Office says Teresia Brown went inside this Chili's restaurant. Meanwhile, her estranged husband, Henry Brown, was hiding in the trunk of her vehicle here in the parking lot, waiting for her to come out. So when Teresia Brown did come out, he popped out of the trunk and started stabbing her. Now, we can tell you that a nurse and a paramedic, they were inside the Chili's at the time. They came out to the parking lot to help her. Brown left the scene, but he came back a few minutes later in his vehicle and ran over all 3 of them. All 3 were taken to the hospital. Teresia died from her injuries. One of the medical professionals, he remains hospitalized. The other has been released. We also are learning from the Seminole County Sheriff's Office that they have responded to a domestic disturbance call involving this company that was back in December. We're live this morning in Lake Mary. Jerry Hume, News 13.
Now let's continue now with your weather and traffic together. Real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper will give us a look at the roads in just a moment. But first, we start off with meteorologist Maureen McCann, who joins us now with your weather on the ones. Maureen.
Hey, David, thanks so much. Here at 7:33, I want to start out by looking at the radar. We have a few minor sprinkles that are really dying out as they make their way over the St. Johns River. A couple of them surviving towards Lake Monroe and Lake Jessup in Seminole County. But these areas of rain are only going to bring in a brief couple of raindrops drops, and then we'll be back to dry conditions for today. That's all courtesy of the flow coming in off the Atlantic. It's going to set up some rough beach conditions today, too. There's that rough surf on the ruined Zipper Cam at the Ocean Deck Restaurant in Daytona Beach. You had some showers. Those have since moved inland. Just some residual clouds there in Volusia County with a temperature of 66 degrees. Low to mid 60s are common along and east of I-4. Just a bit cooler when you look inland in Marion County. There's that other perspective of the radar just showing that the showers are very minimal in terms of aerial coverage, and they won't last for much longer. Surf conditions really our big headline for today. Choppy conditions in the water, and the rip current threat is in the elevated range. There are your tide times. I'll be back at 7:41. Ryan is back right now. He has the latest with real-time traffic. Ryan?
Thank you, Mo. Good morning to you. 7:34 your current time. I just wanted to show you this camera first because it is tough sledding along I-4 westbound right now, really from the Longwood area through Lee Road. That's what we're calling it right now. A borderline stop and go in a couple locations, and it looked like near Maitland Boulevard as well. Now, as promised, wanted to give you an update along State Road 408. Not seeing major delays yet in that westbound side headed towards downtown, but notice that eastbound side very busy as you approach that Hiawassee Toll Plaza area, but then heading into downtown Orlando looks to be up to speed again. And coming up in just about 10 minutes, we'll talk about these I-4 eastbound delays getting heavier into downtown Orlando there as well. This traffic update, of course, brought to you by your Central Florida Honda dealers.
Thanks, Ryan. Commissioners on the Orlando City Council will have their say today on a proposal to decriminalize small amounts of marijuana. It's an effort to cut down the number of arrests made in Orlando. Last week, we told you about the plan proposed by Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer and Police Chief John Mina. Right now, someone found with up to 20 grams of marijuana would face a year in jail and a $1,000 fine. If this new ordinance passes, police would be able to issue a citation instead.
I mean, nothing good can come from this when we say that, you know, substance abuse is the same thing as a parking ticket to just get a fine. That's not the right message to be sending to young people especially.
If there's somebody that has made a youthful mistake, it's their first time and they have no other background of any sort and are not associated with other crimes, we're probably going to be able to give them a second chance.
Supporters of the plan say arrests for first-time minor drug possession are causing people to lose out on future work, acceptance to the military, even student loans. The ordinance gets its first reading this afternoon at 2 p.m. If it's allowed to move forward today, it will come back for a final vote on May 9th and could then become law. And the talks in Orlando come as Pennsylvania becomes the 24th state to legalize marijuana for medical use. Yesterday, Governor Tom Wolf approved a measure that allows people suffering from serious medical conditions to use marijuana. That includes cancer, HIV, and Parkinson's. But it will take at least another year and a half for the state to roll out its program. Florida voters will decide whether to legalize medical marijuana in the Sunshine State in November's general election. And today in Pinellas County, a judge will decide whether John Johnchuk is competent to stand trial in the death of his daughter. Johnchuk is accused of dropping his 5-year-old daughter Phoebe off the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in January of 2015. He's charged with first-degree murder. He has spent more than a year in a psychiatric ward after a judge ruled him mentally incompetent. Today's hearing comes in light of new psychiatric evaluations, which have yet been sealed. Driving in the attractions area can be a challenge at times, but how about living in the attractions area and just having trouble getting out of your driveway? That's essentially the problem one viewer is having. Kyle Fowler writes in to us this week from Celebration. He says, I live at Camden Town Square Apartments at 192 and Celebration. When we come out of our apartment complex and want to turn left to the intersection to get onto Highway 192, there are 2 left turn lanes. People don't realize that when they turn in the far left turn lane, they need to stay all the way in the left lane when they get on 192. As a result, they go into the middle lane, which cuts you off and causes a potential accident. Now, is it possible to make our intersection direction safer? I'm afraid that someone will get hurt. Our real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper investigates in this week's Traffic Inbox.
Kyle Fowler and his fiancee both have lived here at the Camden Town Square Apartments in Celebration for the past 9 months after moving to Central Florida from New York City.
New York City, I feel like everybody feels like they know where they're going, so everybody's in a hurry. And down here you have the mix of people who know where they're going, and you have the mix of people who have no clue where they're going. So blending the two of those, I think it gets a little confusing for people.
Although a heavily congested road itself, Kyle's actual problem isn't necessarily US 192 traffic, it's the intersection coming out of his apartment complex.
If you're in the left, all the way to the left, in the left turn lane, you have to stay all the way to the left when you turn onto whatever road you're turning onto.
Now behind me here is the intersection in question, and a couple of things have really stricken me about this place. Number one, the amount of tourists actually coming to the parking lot to the right of me here, which has a CVS, a Starbucks, a Golden Corral, and then the apartment complex as well. So a lot of tourist activity in this area. And number two, the lack of white lines that Kyle was talking about if you're trying to make a left turn from that parking lot of the apartment complex onto US 192.
So Kyle has the best example of residents mixing with tourists right in his own backyard. However, that being said, Kyle also believes he has a simple solution to the problem.
I think the simplest solution would be they do it at a lot of the other intersections, but I noticed that they just don't do it here. These two left turn lanes, just stick a dotted line in the middle of those and kind of run it into 192 so that people understand what lane they're supposed to stay in.
Now, I was in fact able to contact FDOT, who manages that intersection, and they responded with the following statement in behalf of their traffic operations office. Quote, the southbound lane configuration was recently changed to include the second left turn lane. It appears some improvements could be made. We will review this intersection and consult with our crew to determine the exact improvements needed, end quote. So it seems help is on the way, Kyle, and if you at home have a traffic problem you want looked at, write us in at the inbox at mynews13.com/traffic inbox and just fill out the simple form. I'm Ryan Harper for Traffic Inbox, News 13.
Time now is 7:40. Let's turn it over to real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper with a look at your morning commute. Good morning, Ryan.
Thank you, David. Good morning to you as well. Getting much busier heading eastbound along I-4 headed towards downtown Orlando. So you're looking at a couple of solid pockets right now, beginning back around here. This is the Millennia area, Conway Road, and through downtown Orlando you can see some pockets starting to form all the way through Ivanhoe Boulevard, which is just past the heart of downtown Orlando. So we can actually track for you what your overall travel time is going to look like beginning at Conroy through Ivanhoe Boulevard. You're looking at about 15 minutes, but just to go about 6 miles, you're adding about 10 extra minutes of travel time throughout that area. Also, real quickly, want to give you an update on I-4 westbound as you approach Florida's Turnpike. Another pocket that's usually busy hasn't disappointed, so it looks like just past Conroy Road through Florida's Turnpike to Kirkman. That's where delays are beginning and ending as of right now. This traffic update brought to you by your Central Florida Honda dealers. Over to our weather center now with meteorologist Maureen McCann. And Mo, we were talking earlier, it was a mixed bag over the weekend. What can we expect as we begin our work week?
Well, as we begin the day, we have a little bit of light rain still on the radar. Most of these showers are really dying out after they move past I-95. A couple of them holding on, though. I'll show you those in just a moment. I want to show you the temperatures first, though. Not too bad along the I-4 corridor. Leaving the house here at 7:42, 62 degrees in Sanford. Daytona Beach is in the middle 60s with the wind coming in off the water. And those coastal clouds and showers have been evident along our coastal cameras this morning. We can stop by the view of some of them. We'll begin by taking a look at the Van Ganaway Chevrolet camera in Claremont. Actually, the view off the Citrus Tower has been looking pretty good this morning. Good visibility, and the breeze there a little bit lighter than what we have at the coast. But some of those clouds are surviving the trip into Lake County. Meanwhile, in Flagler County, a pretty view. But look at that water. I want to point that out because it's the ocean conditions today that will be the most hazardous. Even though it might seem like a good day for the beach because of the sun, the warm temperatures, getting in the water really not a good idea because of the high rip current threat and the pounding surf. Temperatures today going for about 81 degrees at 3 p.m. with a decrease in clouds from this morning. Here are those showers on Storm Tracker 13. Most of them now confined to central and southern Brevard County. They're moving really fast, and once they move through, we'll be back to dry weather. But Port St. John, Rockledge, Merritt Island, Cape Canaveral getting a little bit of rain now. The rest of us, high pressure is in control. It's going to block that big system in the plains and down through Texas from getting to us anytime soon. So this is where you may have some travel hazards for today. Quick look at those flight delays, really non-existent for any early Monday travel. Forecast and riding back here at home looks good for travel too. 81 degrees. We'll talk about when we'll have a better chance of rain coming up in the extended forecast at 7:51.
Thanks, Maureen. We continue to follow breaking news this morning. 4 people are dead in Seminole County after a man killed his wife and 2 young children before committing suicide. We have a team of reporters working to gather more information on this story, and we'll have that for you in just a few minutes. You're watching News 13.
You're watching News 13. Exclusively on You're watching News 13. Exclusively on Bright House Networks.
Travel Forecast is brought to you by Legally Pink Law. Accident, injury, think Legally Pink.
When your home's AC system is not working properly or needs an immediate repair, you need a company with experience that you can trust. Turn to the experts of 29 years with American Air and Heat and Carrier. Family-friendly service, that's American Air and Heat.
Designing. From buildings to renovations, that's what I do. And after all these years, I still love taking on a new project. It's all about the details, like technology, which is playing a bigger role in my business every day. Ironically, that's one detail I don't have time for. That's why I have Bright House. I use their IT services for our network. Go right to the printer. They do tech, so I don't have to.
Bright House Networks Business Solutions. We've got tech covered.
When I'm asked what's the most important quality a lawyer should have, people often expect me to possibly answer preparation, or maybe experience, or even being a great public speaker. However, my answer is always the same: compassion. Compassion is something you can't teach, but if you have it, it's that extra something that helps your lawyer to best achieve your goals. If you've been injured in an auto accident or lost a loved one through the negligence of another, NEJAM Law is here for you. Injured or death through another's negligence, NEJAM Law. Help is here.
It's volume pricing during our spring sales event at Central Florida Chrysler Jeep Dodge. Buy from the largest inventory in the country, 12 acres, 4 stories, 288,000 square feet, and over $50 million in stock, available for immediate delivery. And with our low price protection guarantee in writing, you'll always get the best price. I'm Melina. View all details at cfchrysler.com, John Young Parkway and Sand Lake Road, Orlando.
You won't get it anywhere else.
Preventative maintenance on your home's AC system will help eliminate costly and inconvenient breakdowns, lower utility costs, and increase the life of your system. Turn to the experts of 29 years with American Air and Heat and Carrier. Family-friendly service, that's American Air and Heat.
Closed captioning is brought to you by New Teeth Now. New Teeth Now from Florida Dental Implants can help you find the joy of living again, all in one day.
And we're following breaking news in Seminole County, where a man killed his wife and his 2 children before killing himself. Now let's go straight out to News 13's Bailey Myers. She's live at Central Florida Regional Hospital in Sanford, near where all of this ended. Bailey, what can you tell us right now?
Well, David, like you said, this shooting spree ended right up the road after the suspect opened fire here at the hospital. Fortunately, no one was hurt in that incident, but you couldn't say the same about the other crime scenes that we had going last night. Around 10 last night, that's when police were initially called after a woman was stabbed. We now know that woman was Theresia Brown. She went to Chili's in Lake Mary last night. That's where her estranged husband, 30-year-old Henry Raymond Brown, stabbed and killed her. Brown also hurt 2 medical professionals trying to help Theresia. We'll have more details on that coming up. Now, after killing his wife, Brown fled home, traded cars, picked up his 2 children, who are 4 and 1 years old. That's when he headed back to Sanford to continue his shooting spree here at the hospital, where he opened fire. Like we said, fortunately, no one was hurt in that shooting, but once again, Brown got away and fled, only to be later found on I-4 near 1792, where he shot and killed his 2 young children and ultimately turned the gun on himself.
For us to do to kind of put the pieces together on this and find out exactly what circumstances led up to what happened overnight.
So investigators have a lot of work to do this morning. They're investigating multiple crime scenes in several jurisdictions. We are told those jurisdictions and municipalities are working together to piece together how this all happened. Jerry Hume will be joining us soon to tell us a little bit more about that one crime scene where this all started. We'll have more details about that coming up. Reporting live in Sanford, Bailey Myers, News 13.
Say hello to Bodie McBoatface. You wouldn't know it by its name, but it's a new $300 million British research vessel. The Bodie name won an online vote to decide what to call the new vessel. The campaign started when a BBC host suggested the name kind of as a joke. Bodie McBoatface received more than 120,000 votes. Right now, there's no guarantee that the ship will keep the name that the voters chose. The vessel is set to set sail for Antarctica in 2019.
High pressure will maintain a firm grip on our weather for today, giving us some sunshine, but also some steady onshore winds. Talk about how long this pattern will stick around coming up in your Weather on the Ones.
A non-attorney spokesperson. News 13 News is brought to you by Martinez Manglardi, fighting for results for over 25 years.
Every day we do stories about people in need. With CNN's Impact Your World, you can help. When you go to the Impact Your World section at CNN.com, you'll find more on the stories that move you. Plus, you can find out just what you can do to help with links to reputable charities and organizations. Find out more on New Day and go to CNN.com/impact. Be the change. Take action. Make an impact.
Everybody's got a front row seat. It's out of here.
Witness awesome high school baseball and softball live. Go to BHSN.com for a complete schedule. Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports and only available to Bright House Network's customers.
Plain and simple, we have the best deals. Buy this new Silverado All-Star for $29.9. That's a savings over $10,000. To find out more, dial ** Chevy. Or lease this all-new Malibu 2LT for under $300 a month. 0 down, sign and drive. To find out more, dial ** Chevy. Just dial ** Chevy on your mobile phone to find out more on these great offers. And as always, the only thing better than our price is the buying experience itself.
Van Ganaway. Van Ganaway Chevrolet, Highway 441, Eustis.
I can't believe it's over.
I know. It all happened so fast.
Dad's proud. It was a nice service and well attended.
The DeGespy family was so compassionate. They made sense of the decisions and arrangements.
It showed how much we care. And it was affordable.
I'm Todd DeGespy. Let our family help yours. Funeral or cremation from $7.95. Call or visit DeGespyFuneralHome.com.
Storm Tracker 13 is brought to you by the Personal Injury Division of NEJAM Law. If you've been in a car accident or injured, NEJAM Law. Help is here.
Your accurate weather experts forecast with Storm Tracker 13.
51 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to your Weather on the Ones on this Monday morning. The weekend kind of had some mixed conditions. Coastal areas had some clouds and showers at times, and that's what we have this morning too. Now yesterday, this is what it looked like in Ormond Beach. Very pretty sky. Mark shared this on our app, News 13 Plus. I want to see your pictures from this morning's sunrise though, so share them with me on the app, News 13 Plus. If you haven't downloaded it yet, go to mynews13.com/app center. Another very easy way for you to share pictures with us is to post them on our Facebook page. If you haven't liked us yet, go to News 13 Weather. Great way for you to ask us any weather questions too. You can interact with all of us here in the Weather Center. Today we do have a couple of showers appearing on Storm Tracker 13, mostly in the offshore waters. A few of them making their way inland. They will not last very long since high pressure is still the driving force in our weather. So the dry sinking air is going to win out the battle. So these showers are not going to be with us throughout the day. Winds are going to really be picking up over the course of the next few hours though, and then through the afternoon those winds will start to abate some. By tomorrow the onshore winds are still going to be part of our weather, but notice how really nothing happens over the interior other than a few scattered clouds. Really it's going to be in the ocean that we see the biggest hazards from this setup. The wave heights that are appearing here on Storm Tracker 13 have been over 4 to 6 feet in the nearshore waters, and you go away from the coast out into the Gulf Stream and wave heights are nearly a foot. It says why we have a small craft advisory in effect and also a high surf advisory. But beachgoers or anyone that wants to spend time outside today, here's all that dry air, so it is going to be fairly pleasant aside from the wind. We also have this blocking mechanism set up, and there's a lot of wet weather in Texas right now, and it's just not going to be pushing eastward because we're going to keep this dry air anchored in place. This is going to be our weather for the next few days. If you're vacationing here, you won't find rain in the forecast until at least by the end of the week when the ridge begins to break down. This setup also means our dew points have been fairly comfortable, generally in the mid to upper 50s. You'll find that for the next 3 days. Enjoy this because we know as we go through the rest of April into May, we're going to be back in this category very soon and for several months. So enjoy the dry, comfortable air while it lasts. Today it will be a bit windy at times at the coast. We'll be on either side of 80 degrees. For tonight, fair skies, still a couple more coastal showers, and tomorrow will be another mostly dry day. Aside from a early coastal shower, we'll reach the lower 80s inland. Rain absent from your 7-day forecast until at least Friday. Temperatures will get a little bit warmer each day this week. We'll go from 81 today to about 84 on Wednesday, 86 on Thursday, with dry conditions holding through the start of the weekend. At this point, it looks like by Sunday, we'll get back to sunshine and temperatures in the middle 80s. I'll be back again with your next check of weather on the ones coming up in less than 10 minutes. Right now, a live look at Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Good Monday morning, 7:55 your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. We are taking a look at some of your updated delays heading into downtown Orlando right now because it's getting really busy out there for the meantime. On that westbound side of State Road 408 for the first time today, we're really seeing some pockets of very, very slow traffic beginning back here at Goldenrod Road all the way through downtown Orlando. But believe it or not, overall, if you're just passing through, it's not going to add too much extra to your travel time. About 5 extra minutes. Normally takes you about 7 minutes there from the Greenway through downtown. Still a busy day along I-4 eastbound, beginning back before Johnny on Parkway all the way through downtown, looking at some very, very busy traffic there. And also Statewood 4-way, a couple of pockets of slow traffic beginning before the Pine Hills Road toll plaza through the I-4 interchange as well. This traffic update brought to you, of course, by your Central Florida Honda dealers.
And baby makes 3. Model Christy Teigen and singer John Legend have a new addition to their family. The couple welcomed their baby girl, Luna Simone Stevens, last week. The couple announced the news on social media with this picture posted to Teigen's Instagram. This is the couple's first child. Teigen revealed in October she underwent in vitro fertilization in order to conceive. Ahead in our next half hour here on News 13, Ohio Governor John Kasich got a one-on-one with CNN, and when asked about Donald Trump, he had a whole lot to say. Find out next what his thoughts are about his Republican rival. And of course, we're checking your weather on the ones every 10 minutes. Keep it right here. You're watching News 13.
Time now for a look at what's happening in our community, sponsored by Todd Minor Law.
Everyday Heroes is brought to you by Calling Gilbert, Wright & Carter. If you've been injured, let our family help your family.
Universal Studios and the world's most lovable supervillain have built the most despicable 3D ride ever known.
That was awesome.
Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem in 3D. Ride it only at Universal Orlando Resort.
We love TV, and if you love TV as much as we do, we want to make sure you're getting the most out of your service. Download the BHTV app to stream live and on-demand favorites on computers and most wireless devices. Plus, if you're enjoying premium channels like AMC, Nickelodeon, and Discovery on your TV at home, now you can watch them using the BHTV app. Love your shows and live your life. Visit brighthouse.com/BHTV.
The moment of the crash
was basically terrifying. I was doing everything I could do to avoid it. After it came to a stop, it was just an instinct to jump out of the car to check on the other people. I first contacted a different attorney, and I really wasn't happy with the way it was going. That's when I contacted Todd Miner. He was confident in himself, and I liked that. Mr. Miner and his associates did a fantastic job.
If you've been in an accident, call me today. The consultation is absolutely free. Todd Miner Law, expect more.
Take a look around your home. Chances are there's something there that we can buy. From coins to diamonds, broken jewelry to designer jewelry, gold, silver, and platinum, there's nothing too big or too small for us to cash in for you today. We are Orlando Jewelry Buyers. This is what we do. We buy jewelry every single day. Bring in what you have and let us take a look and give you the true value guarantee for your items. We have locations in Winter Park, Sanford, and on the corner of Kirkman and Conroy. Visit OrlandoJewelryBuyers.com or call today 645-GOLD.
Breaking in is impossible. Breaking out is even harder. Ride the all-new Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts at Universal Orlando Resort.